What is up, everyone? Welcome. How are you all doing? My name is Ryan, and welcome to the Football Chatbox Game Week 29 team selection stream. Hope you're all having a good time and a good week. And obviously, we have a midweek deadline, which means tomorrow, basically, deadline. Tomorrow? Yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow deadline. That's why we're having the team selection stream today instead of tomorrow. Shout out to Tiger, Manish, and Freddy. How are you all doing? If you guys have teams, send it over. We'll discuss teams. We'll discuss fixtures. Green arrow for me, 77 points. It was looking pretty bad. And I told Freddy as well on Saturday. It wasn't looking great, to be honest. The fact that Kelleher didn't play and Dubravka came on for basically a 0-pointer. So I managed to get 77 points with 10 players. Basically 77 points with 10 players because Dubravka gave nothing. Bruno Fernandes captaincy delivered. Bit disappointed that that Haaland didn't play at all, which meant that like those who didn't captain Bruno also got him from the vice captaincy. So there was luck there as well. Harry Wilson, what a legend, keeps returning. Although he is flagged. I don't know what the extent of his injury is going to be, so we kind of have to wait and see. Declan Rice also another one with a knock. We kind of have to wait and see. Haaland, he's also probably not going to be available. I don't know. So which is why I have Ekitike on the thumbnail, because we're going to be discussing forwards as well in terms of moves and what to do. And Manchester City FC, welcome. How are you doing? Do you remember me? Yes, you were there last week as well. Thank you so much. I love you. What did I do? Did any of the transfers I say work out well? 70 points without a captaincy change from last week. Will happily take that. Nick, welcome. How are you doing? I sent my team on X. Yes. I noticed that. I will bring it up. Muhin, how are you going? Welcome. Thank you so much. I don't. Wait, hold on. I'm sending my team. Okay. I mean, I try my best to basically do whatever I would do in terms of moves like so. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, to be honest. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But this is obviously Freddy's team as well. And we also have fixtures. So we'll talk about fixtures. No podcast for this week because the deadline is tomorrow. So we decided not to do. Where do I send you one? You don't need to send me money. You can like and subscribe. You already subscribed, so you can hit the like button. My team pretty bad. 4 injured. Says Simonal. Simonal, welcome as well. I need wildcards, so please tell me teams to avoid for blank and team to look forward for double game week. Oh, where's your team in the mini league, Simonal? Let's see what we can do in terms of whether. Let's see whether we can save it without the wildcard. Otherwise, we'll use the wildcard and see what we can do as well. So let me get that. That means if you're looking for double game week information as well, let's plan for that as well. You can wait for one more week, we'll have like FA Cup results and we'll know more information. That's the thing. Like one more week and you'll have a bit more information. Ideally. Trying to bench boost in game week 30, says Muhin. Ooh, interesting. Number 40 in the league. Okay, I'll load your team up as well. Here we go. Alright, let's start with Freddy's team. Freddy has Rea, Van Dijk, Gabriel, Anderson, Szoboszlai, Rice, Fernandes, Mbuemo, Thiago, Haaland, Ekitike, Stark, Hill, and Dubravka alongside Mukiele. So obviously, almost a lot of us are seeing flags in our team, myself included. So Freddy is thinking of might do Rice to Tavernier for one free transfer. Interesting, fair enough. Has Stark and Hill if Haaland and Anderson are out. So Rice to Tavernier. I actually don't mind that. Tavernier is not a bad option. Fixtures looking pretty decent. If I'm not mistaken, Bournemouth, Brentford, Burnley, and Man United. Yeah, fair enough. I don't mind that. I was also looking. I don't know. I was initially thinking of even Semenyo, but I don't know if Semenyo is a good idea. Because here's the thing. If Haaland is out, I'd still want to have some City coverage. So I was wondering, like, I watched the highlights of the games, a majority of them, and then the Forest defending. Oh, so I'm just wondering whether Semenyo in 2 game weeks, can he do something? Haven't fully decided. That's the only thing. I mean, Tavernier is also not too bad. Brentford and Burnley are pretty good fixtures. Man United as well, I think, will be a very end-to-end game. The other one is Alex Iwobi. I mentioned Alex Iwobi we mentioned it on the podcast. I don't think I mentioned it on the deadline stream. On the podcast, we talked about Alex Iwobi as a differential Fulham player last week. And he's all apart from Harry Wilson. So he was also one that we mentioned Alex Iwobi and Harry Wilson as two of the Fulham players to watch out for. Both of them returned. Wanikwan, how are you doing? Wildcarded last week, but so many yellow flags. Lucky with the wildcard, 130 in your league. Let's load it up as well. All right, 130 you say. Disco potato. No. Disco potato? Mohin? This one, right? All right. Now, so Freddie's team. Freddie has Thiago and Ekitike already. So he obviously wouldn't have to do the Haaland to Ekitike move, which a lot of people are doing. Which now, obviously, if you guys remember, I used to show you this via Fantasy Football Fix, but now Live FPL also has it where they show like the transfer trends. So as you can see, a lot of people are going to Ekitike from Haaland. And obviously the defensive moves, people are going to Van Dijk. Seems like people are selling Morgan Rogers to multiple different options like Bruno, Semenyo, Harry Wilson, Soboslai. The Ekitike is one of the big ones coming in this week, which could also be a captaincy option. So like I don't have Ekitike as well for my team. And I'm like, maybe I do Haaland to Ekitike is what I'm thinking personally for my team as well. So that's something that I have to kind of consider. I haven't fully thought about it as well in terms of options. And do I put the armband on Haaland? I mean, Ekitike is another discussion as well. Manchester City FC's ID. Yes, I will load your team up as well. Let me get Andy's team up and then swap it. You might have to wait a bit though while we load it up. Ooh, what a point total. All right, so this is Simonal's team. So 61 points, Rare, Van Dijk, Timber, O'Reilly, Goodmanson, Semenyo, Rogers, Declan Rice, Enzo, Thiago, Bowen, Wirtz, Mukiele, Haaland. So, O'Reilly rolled his ankle apparently. Probably, this is my team, I love you. You're welcome. So, O'Reilly rolled his ankle. So, I'm not sure if he's going to be available or not. Now, here's the thing, Samuel. I'm going to tell you. Because if you plan on wildcarding, it's someone you'd want anyways in your team. But maybe not now itself. K7, how are you doing? Welcome. Haaland has West Ham in 30, I think, before he's likely blank. He does. But let's say, here's the thing. That's why I was thinking about Semenyo. And the reason I was thinking, like, okay, do I just cover Haaland for 1 week while having Semenyo for 2 weeks? That's the reason. But if I get Semenyo, it's a hit. It's a -4. So I kind of had to decide. And like, he will be probably, okay. This is where it gets a bit more complicated as well. Let me try and find, a bit more tricky, not complicated. It gets a bit of tricky, and it's basically, I was searching for tricky. I'm searching for, it's basically risk versus reward. Where do I send you the $10,000? You don't need to send me $10,000. If you want, you can use like the YouTube memberships to join the Discord if you want to. That is available as well. Or you can just gift memberships. That's also possible on YouTube. But you don't need to send me $10,000. So this is obviously the Lego Mane chart. Here's the thing, right? We have the FA Cup this weekend. Now, if Haaland is not available for Game Week 29, which I don't think we're going to get that information, they don't have a press conference, right? Very unlikely. That means FA Cup, let's say he plays FA Cup. Game Week 30, right, is in the middle of 2 European games against Real Madrid. Do we think Haaland is going to start West Ham with 2 fixtures on either side against Real Madrid? That's the only thing. That's where I'm a bit more uncertain. K7 says, I pushed the wildcard button in Game Week 24. Ooh, interesting. Words is out this week, but should be back in 30 slot presser this morning. Ah, I did not know that. Scott, I have not been looking at the team news. I think not to be honest, because City have Marmushu is more than capable. Yeah, that's the thing, right? And they can play Semenyo at striker spot as well. Like what they did this week. Uh, so then this is the whole risk versus reward, because obviously you can keep him. He'll probably be potentially be a captaincy option for Game Week 30. But then so the risk is selling him, and he plays Game Week 30 and he goes well. The reward is he doesn't start for Game Week 30 because they have Real Madrid on either side, and then you are enjoying. Oh, they don't have anything in terms of a team news on. Okay. So yeah, it's basically a full risk versus reward thing. Now for Simonal, if you're going to play the wild card, do you need to play the wild card? How many free transfers do you have, Simonal? I don't think this is fully of a wild card needed. Take a look. I have a team since wildcard 24. All right, so we'll load K7's team as well, because his team should be very close to what a recent wildcard team would have been looking like. Let's load Andy's team again. K7, you might have to wait slightly, but I can use your team as a benchmark. So this is K7's wildcard team, which has Henderson, Haaland, Mane. Now, obviously, Mane would not be in a wildcard. If you were to wildcard now, rare. I mean, the thing with this wildcard draft that will be different is if you were to wildcard now, you probably wouldn't have triple Arsenal now. You also probably might not have Mane, and you might have a slightly few different defenders. Instead of Senesi, you might have Hill, Maguire. I don't mind too much, to be honest, generally speaking. And you might even have Tavernier instead of Dango potentially as well, as an option. Or actually, Harry Wilson you might even have, to be honest, over Dango. So there are a few slight changes that might happen in here. Anderson, I think, should be fine. You guys don't have to worry about Joachim Anderson. He'll be available for the upcoming game week. But he will be in a wildcard draft. Please look at my team too. Yeah, I've got your team up as well. Don't worry, I have your team as well. Whew. Look at this. But so, wow. Shush, Muhin 97 last week, wildcard as well. Some big scores out here, very big scores. So we'll build a wildcard draft for Simonal as well. But give me a few minutes and we'll first look at some of the other teams, and then we'll get to build in a wildcard draft as well. So obviously next one was Muhin in terms of the order. This is Muhin's team, 97 points. Dubravka obviously getting subbed on for Kelleher. I think Muhin, you also made a goalkeeper transfer, which was removing. Who did you remove? Webruggen for Kelleher, and unfortunately, it paid off. It didn't pay off. I think Kelleher will play. Now, obviously, he wasn't sick or anything. It's just that his wife gave birth, so he was not available for the game. I think he'll be available for the upcoming week, though. I don't really see him not being available for that. Timber, Van Dijk is fine. Anderson obviously was sick. Should be okay for the upcoming game if you need him against West Ham. So you can start him if O'Reilly is not available. You could also probably start Hill, but I think Brentford will potentially still score. So you have cover. You don't have to worry about O'Reilly's injury. You can continue to bench him or start him and see if he's available. I mean, midfield is fine. Wilson, I think Wilson is just more fatigue. I think you guys will be fine with Harry Wilson, to be honest, and Thiago and Ekitike up front as well. So you kind of already have Ekitike. So the question to Muhin is, are you selling Haaland or keeping Haaland? What are you doing? I think your flags will be fine. Like Anderson sick should be okay. O'Reilly is the problem. Harry Wilson, I think it's more fit. I don't think he had a serious issue, right? Harry Wilson, did he roll his ankle or whatever? No, right? What does it say as this thing? It says ankle injury. Did he actually roll his ankle, Harry Wilson? Harry Wilson. Let me see if I can find it. Update on Wilson. At halftime, he gave us the feedback that we probably have to change. He kept going, but it was very difficult for him in the last 20 minutes to support the team. He twisted the ankle a bit. Let's see how it's going to be in the next few days. Oh, okay. So Harry Wilson is 50-50. Which means, I mean, you could probably, if needed, I don't know. Depends on what you want to do with Haaland fully. Give me 1 minute, guys. All right. Should I wildcard? What? Wait. Should I bench boost? Okay, so let's have a look at what this team will look like in game week. You want to bench boost in game week 30? My team, please. Yeah, your team is next. Your team is next. Don't worry. Don't worry. Your team is next. You want to bench boost in game week 30? Okay, hold on, hold on, hold on. I'll get through everyone's teams. Don't worry. I will most definitely get through everyone's teams. Bench boost. You want to bench boost next? You want to bench boost in game week 30? Your bench, assuming obviously changes were to happen, he'll have no Tavernier. It might be this way, right? Assuming you keep Haaland, it'll be Harry Wilson against Forest. Probably Anderson as well. Ooh. Okay, here's the thing, Muhin. If you get to game week 30 and players are fit and you know they will play, then you could consider bench boosting. Otherwise, I would save it for game week 33. Simple as. Because your bench will look something like this. I will tell you now, the way Burnley are playing, it's very unlikely. Like the chances of Bournemouth keeping a clean sheet are low. The way Burnley are playing, so you're probably looking at a 2 to 4 pointer here. Anderson against Forest, you could probably hit a 6 pointer. You could hit a clean sheet. So let's say you hit 2 points clean sheet here, best case scenario, right? So let's say you have 8 points. Dubravka probably won't keep a clean. You're looking at 2 to 3 points maybe. So 8, 10, 11 points, 10 to 11. This is assuming Fulham keep a clean sheet. If Wilson is available, if we can do an expected points of at least 5 from him, you'll look at about 16 points from a bench boost, which is not too bad in a single game week. I would take it in a single game week, but I think you could probably get a bit more in a double game week, potentially. However, I will say it's hard to tell with so many flags that I don't know what's the situation is going to be like in game week 30. So you'd have to make that decision when you get closer to game week 30. For now, it's a bit more harder to tell what exactly is going to happen. Looking at it, you could potentially bench boost it. Best case, you probably look at about 15 to 16 points if you're lucky. Worst case, you probably look at 2, 4. Worst case, you look at 8 points to 10 points. Worst case, 8 to 10 points, which is a normal bench boost, which is not that great. I think you need to, but make the decision only in game week 30. Don't make it now. Just let's get to game week 30. When we get there, if your team is still pretty good, then we'll consider it. Tiger, welcome. How are things going? The missus got 79 without touching her team this game week. Damn, well done. All right, let's look at some of the other big scores as well. So this is obviously Muhin with 97. Next one is Manchester City FC. Krish with 90 points this week. Rhea, Malik Chow, Hill, Van Dijk. Malik Chow came on for Anderson, who was ill, and James Garner came on for Haaland. Harry Wilson, Bruno Fernandes, Kevin Schade, Mbuemo, and Ekitike with the returns. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes got the armband because Haaland was not available. Who did you bring in this week? You got rid of Enzo Fernandez from the looks of it and bought in Kevin Schade. Yes. Should I trust Gakpo? I think there are better midfielders you could probably find, is what I would say. Tay. I think you could probably find better midfielders. K7 says, sorry, bro. I had triple Chelsea and transferred out Chalaba, Enzo, and JP to Thiago, Dango, and VVD. Oh, did you do it for this upcoming game week, K7, or did you do it last week? I'll have a look at your team. I'm looking at transferring Rogers out. Who to replace as Tiger? Okay, give me a few minutes, Tiger. I will load your team up as well. So Manchester City FC. Also, we have noticed over the past week. Yeah, I've had with that. What are you planning on doing with Haaland for the upcoming week? Yogesh, welcome. How are you doing? Planning to rename my team to Waving Flags just in time for the World Cup. That's a good one. That is a good one. Morning, says Mr. Tendai. How are you doing? Morning, Mr. Tendai. So, what's the plan with Erling Haaland? I guess Haaland to Thiago? I did it for Game Week 28. Okay. So, I have your team here. Oh, yes. You have removed all the Chelsea lads. That makes sense. So, yeah. I think Haaland to Thiago, since there is no Thiago in this team. Any other strikers that stand out? I mean, Joe Pedro was not too bad. He came close to getting something versus Arsenal. So, as someone who owns him, I'm still pretty happy. Benjamin Sesko is on form. However, United, I will say, in the first half of games, haven't looked that convincing in the last couple of weeks. They've looked a bit poor, a bit sloppy, to be honest. But Sesko is still scoring goals, but he won't play a full 90. That's the only thing. So Thiago kind of seems the more obvious one. Mr. Tendai has 87 points this week. Wow. TCL or Raul, but I already hate it. Oh my days. However, we got to do. Okay. With Calvert-Lewin, he did have chances against City. I saw the highlights. He had some chances. Probably should have taken them. Could have had a return. I still probably prefer Raul Jimenez, but he's not going to play 90 minutes with Muniz there. I mean, why are you looking at those strikers, first of all? May I ask? Is it to buy a more expensive midfielder like Salah, or what's the plan? 87 points this week, stuck with Timber and Rice while many were rage transferring. But bought in Wilson and Virgil. Now I have a conundrum with Wilson, Haaland, and Rice on yellow. Yeah, I have the same situation. Although I'm probably selling Haaland because I don't own Ekitike. So I'm selling Haaland because I have no Ekitike. But yeah, I do have a similar situation. Guys, Manchester City FC is disappeared. Also, guys, if you haven't hit the like button yet, please do smash that like button. It helps the channel in terms of growing as well. Would be greatly appreciated. Put me out of my misery. I will. Let me load your team up as well. I need to load Tiger's team up as well. Tiger, did you send me your team on Insta? Oh, where are these teams? I got Freddy's. Aha, here we go. Tiger's team. Tiger, you sent 2 teams. Oh no, you sent the team for this week. 64 points from this week. But let me load your team this week. Who is your vice captain? Thiago. Yogesh. Okay, let me load yours as well. I will replay. Okay, I'm going to keep Simonals open because we need to build a wildcard for Simonal. Let me load Mira's team and replace it with Yogesh's team. And then Vessel, Line, Pen. Now, so much flags. Gotta wait for press conferences. Yes, I fully agree. So many flags. All of us have flags. Flags. Flags for everyone, basically. That didn't work. Why didn't that work? 3, 2. All right. Let's go back to K7. K7's team. This was obviously what his wildcard was. So, K7, are you selling Haaland? What is your plan? I think Maguire should be okay. I did watch the game. I think it's more like I don't think he'll be I think he'll be available for Newcastle. Declan Rice had to wait for press conferences, but Arteta is not going to say anything. I probably, if you had Rice, would just start and hope for the best. Unless you plan on selling, then yeah, that's fine as well. But others are just start and hope for the best kind of thing. Because Arteta is not going to give you any information. Anderson, I think you can start as well, which is fine. Selling Haaland, fair enough. To who? Ekitike? Is that the move? Rice and Haaland is a sell. Ekitike and McAllister. McAllister. Oh. Huh. That's a very interesting move. I didn't think about McAllister as an option. I don't know if he's an FPL option, but it's a punt indeed. I don't know if I'd still go McAllister, but if you want to, yeah, fine. I don't mind it overall. It could be. It's a very punty move though. But yeah, Ekitike makes sense. McTen could pay off potentially. Could pay off McTen. I'd still probably, if Harry Wilson was not flagged, then I would have suggested Harry Wilson, but he's flagged. Iwobi is also not too bad as an option, but Liverpool are scoring quite a lot of goals recently, so he's also pretty good. Fair. And then obviously this one was from Tiger. Tiger, this is Tiger's team for this upcoming game week. Tiger, did you make any transfers? You wanted to sell Morgan Rogers, didn't you? If you really want to sell Morgan Rogers, I would sell him to. Actually, no, wait. Rogers might not necessarily be the player you really want to sell in the first place. How many free transfers do you have? Because you might even potentially think about selling Haaland to Ekitike more than Rogers to anyone. How many free transfers do you have is the question. And then obviously this one was from Yogesh. Rufus, Gabriel, Timber, O'Reilly, Roden, Bruno, Rice, Tango, Rogers, Ekitike, Thiago, Anderson, Haaland, and Potts. You still have Potts. One free transfer for Yogesh and one free transfer for Tiger. If you really wanted to sell Morgan Rogers, your options include hold on, let me go through the fixtures next 3 game weeks. I want to get rid of Haaland for a long time. You can sell Haaland for KTK, that's fine. So midfield options include Tavernier from Bournemouth, but you already have Adley. I probably would get rid of Adley as well, to be honest. Schade is not too bad from Brentford. Everton, no one. Fulham, Iwobi. I mean, Harry Wilson and Iwobi, but I don't know what the situation with Harry Wilson is going to be like. Liverpool. I don't know. These Liverpool midfielders, they've all scored, but like, I don't know, man. Like Liverpool midfielders, I feel like I think Ekitike is the one that I trust. I don't fully trust any of the Liverpool midfielders. If Florian Wirtz was available, I would have been a bit more interested in him. But he's not available for this week. He's only like game week 30 onwards. So like I don't fully trust the Liverpool midfielders in terms of consistent returns. City, you already have Semenyo. Newcastle, you already have Bruno Fernandes. Yes, I mean Brian Mbeumo is still not too bad, but not an urgent need. Newcastle, no. Forest, no. Spurs, no. Sunderland, no. No one else. No one else. So yeah, I mean, you're looking at either Fulham from Alex Iwobi, and you're probably looking at Sharda from Brentford, Tavernier from Bournemouth. Those are basically your options. I'm going to get Salah has gone right off the ball. Yeah, so he's also not really an option. And then for Yogesh, one free transfer has Ekitike and Thiago already. Anderson should be okay. So you can start Anderson if O'Reilly is not available. O'Reilly can get benched. Anderson can start, which means you still have a Rodon size issue, which hamstring. Okay, he's gone. So you still need to figure out a Haaland decision or Declan. You still need to make a transfer. Declan Rice and Haaland. Yogesh, what's your risk versus reward situation with regards to Haaland? Because you have both Ekitike and Thiago. Those are the two main strikers that everyone's looking for. Now, anyone else you get from now is not really a must-have striker that you can get in. Any striker you get in will be, if he returns, he returns. Otherwise, yeah, it's okay. Tiger is saying, shall I do a minus? If you really want to get rid of Rogers, you can do a minus, but you could also just sell Haaland. Yeah, you could sell Rogers as well if you wanted to for a minus and bench Adley. Because Adley, I don't know, like he doesn't look that great for points, generally speaking. Like he doesn't start most games as well. Like his minutes are not great, right? If I'm not like Adley's minutes, I don't think are great. Oh, he didn't start the last game. If I'm wrong, am I wrong? Let me see. I do remember him coming off the bench, wasn't it? Yeah, he didn't start the last game, so that's a bit of a problem. Because Tavernier got back in, right? So that's the thing. A -4 for Salah was on my mind, but then it's 2026. He's the belly down. I know exactly what you're talking about. That was funny. Alan for who? Ekitike from Liverpool, Tiger. It'll have to be Ekitike for you. All right, hold on one second. I think Ekitike, Tiger, I would say. 5 likes. Please hit that like button, guys. Do not forget. Please do hit that like button. All right. Now, did I miss anything? No, right? I don't think I missed anything. Let me. We were supposed to build a wildcard draft for Simon. So I'm going to use Simon's team ID to build a wildcard draft because that way I get a better budget like number in terms of what is available. Now, I personally, one free transfer. Ah, I see. I might just take a -4. play it like this. If Rice is not available, Morgan Rogers comes on. It's not great though. All right, let's build a wildcard. Let's build a wildcard for Sabiner. So if you're building a wildcard draft, let me actually record this because I could probably use it as a. Do I didn't record it? I'll record it anyways. All right, wildcard draft, and only play this wildcard. Only play your wildcard chip this week if you really, really, really badly need it. Otherwise, I would generally save it for game week 32, basically. So this is Simon's team that we're going to use as the base of building a wildcard because he's got some issues in the team as well. So KTK, I have actually let me reset it. This is what the team looks like. I sold Haaland to get KTK in. I'm gonna sell Jared Bowen as well to. Let's have Raul Jimenez for now, and then we can decide how to move forward after that. I probably will have Bruno Fernandes instead of Declan Rice. I will get in. Who should we have? Should I have Embuemo? Let's start with Embuemo and then we'll decide after. Enzo Fernandez can go. Let's say we go Iwobi. If Harry Wilson was available, I would have gone Harry Wilson. Florian Wirtz can go to Tavernier. Defense, you have Van Dijk. Timber can be swapped to Gabriel. Rea can remain in goal if needed, or could also be sold to Kelleher to free up funds if you really, really wanted to, but you can keep Rea still. O'Reilly, I would probably keep. Mukiele can change to Hill. Because if you're playing your wildcard now, one thing you need to keep in mind is that you need to have players who you can bench in game week 31, but you still want for the following game weeks as well. So right now we have 1, 2, 3 players that we can easily bench without issue. Keeper you can anyway bench without any issue. Dubravka, this is why I want Kelleher instead. Might have to make. Who do Burnley have? Burnley play in the next 3 game weeks. They play Everton, Bournemouth, and Fulham. Actually, they play Fulham in game week 31. The only time you might need Dubravka. Otherwise, just keep Rea. Who am I missing? Semenyo, Bruno, Embuemo, Iwobi. How can we improve this midfield? And Tavernier as well. Van Dijk, Gabriel, Hill, O'Reilly, Goodmanson. Would I have Goodmanson? I probably wouldn't have Goodmanson. Put Ryan and Semenyo in the wildcard. Could have Ryan as well instead of Tavernier. That's also not too bad. I don't mind that. Semenyo is already here. Goodmanson, I don't think Goodmanson is fully needed. I would have. Who would I have actually? You have O'Reilly for City defense. Oh, I would have Anderson from Fulham. Now, here's the thing. Anderson was sick, and which is why he's flagged. But I think for game week 31, he's a pretty good option. Guehi as well. I mean, he's got O'Reilly, and ideally you don't want O'Reilly for longer term. Obviously, we have to wait and see. But if you're wildcarding now, probably can't risk it. So you do go Guehi then, because O'Reilly's you just have to like transfer in O'Reilly later if needed. But ideally, I would like O'Reilly in there instead of Guehi, just purely based on attacking threat. But you could do something like this for this week on a wild card. I think Anderson will be fine for even though like in terms of health. So if you go to game week 30, you keep it as it is. You just roll the transfer. Go to game week 31. You can play Ryan ahead of Semenyo. You can bench Semenyo. Can start Anderson over Guehi. Can start Hill. And can bench Ryan for Rea for Dubravka. Now, you can keep the team just like this as well. Roll the transfer, keep rolling transfers. Don't, because the most important thing in a wildcard draft is you roll the transfer. As much as possible, you roll transfers. Fulham are the ones who had the best fixtures that week. However, In terms of captaincy, when it comes to captaincy, you have Ekitike and Bruno Fernandes for that week, and maybe Thiago as well. And then Game Week 32 is when people will start playing their wild cards, and you would start wanting to bring back some Arsenal players in. And so you got this for Game Week 32, for example. Like you'll bench Raul Jimenez, you'll bench Anderson. And then if I was to add the projected doubles, I just want to see what this team will look like for 33. Probably sell Embuemo and Iwobi potentially. Is probably what I would do. But I think you have to try and get to Game Week 32 without spending any transfers in Game Week 29 and Game Week 30. This is for those of you who are looking to wildcard this week. So you have to get to Game Week 32 without spending any transfers. So this is probably what I would have. I would just focus for the next 4 game weeks. And when you get to Game Week 33, this is what it would look like with no transfer spent. You probably end up selling Embuemo. I wouldn't sell Bruno Fernandes. I would still have Bruno Fernandes in the team, even in a double game week, because he can still get points in a single game week. Chelsea are weak at set pieces. Bruno Fernandes takes a lot of set pieces. So you probably can get rid of Rea and Embuemo, Iwobi. You can bring in another Liverpool player. This is where maybe Wirtz could come back in. If you have your bench boost, this is where it gets tricky. For those of you who have your bench boost, it does get tricky here. You might end up bench boosting some single game week fixtures, because look at this. I have only managed to accumulate 4 free transfers heading into game week 30, and we have no Haaland as well. We have to buy Haaland back definitely by game week 32. So game week 32, like you have to buy Haaland back, which probably includes selling Raul Jimenez to Haaland. Actually, would you even sell Raul Jimenez? No, I think you probably, yeah, it might include selling Thiago potentially even, just for the funds. Because otherwise it's not possible. Like you'll have to sell Thiago to Haaland, and then who is a cheap striker who is predicted to double? Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Burnley, Brighton, Danny Welbeck? But Danny Welbeck doesn't have great fixtures before this. Arsenal, Liverpool, City, Newcastle. Probably go something like this. So you'll have, I'm still short of cash if I was to bring Haaland in. Like someone else also has to go. $3.4 short. This is why keeper. This is why expensive keepers I really don't like too much, but it's not going to save you 3.4. Ekitike has kind of got to go, but how? And Buemo will need a downgrade. 2, potentially whoever doubles. Brighton, Burnley, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Arsenal. Declan Rice can come back in. Still not enough funds. Damn, getting in Haaland and Ekitike is not easy while having Bruno and Embuemo and an expensive defense. Jeez. This is the problem. Buying Haaland, this is a wildcard on screen. Yes, this is a wildcard on screen. Buying Haaland without a wildcard, buying him back is not as easy as it seems. I think you probably don't buy him in 32. I think you see it out. Probably see out the Chelsea game as well. And then in 33, you buy him in. You have 4 free transfers to make changes. And Buemo can go. Let's say you go get Declan Rice in because of the double. Who else can you get in? How much is Iwobi? 6.3. Damn, Gabriel is so expensive. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten Gabriel. I think Timber should have stayed in this team. I take it back. I think Timber should have stayed in this team. Even then, it's not enough cash. Oh, Declan Rice. Uh, do Forest double? Brighton, Burnley, any Brighton players? Crystal Palace, Ismail Sarr maybe? Liverpool, Everton versus Crystal Palace, Newcastle. It's tough, man. It's actually pretty tough. It's not easy. Like maybe some Newcastle players could be an option because the fixtures after also not too bad in 35, 36, and 37. Palace don't have really good fixtures to be honest, but maybe if they were going to double twice, you probably want to get a Palace player in. So Iwobi to how much is 6.3, same price as Iwobi, so it makes no difference. Your other options include Strand Larsen, who I believe is more expensive, 6.2 than Raul Jimenez. Yes. Any other Crystal Palace midfielders that are affordable? Nothing coming to mind. I think you'll have to end up with a Brighton player. Tottenham and Chelsea. Set pieces, Pascal Gross. Who else takes set pieces for Brighton? Danny Welbeck could become an option. 6.1 Danny Welbeck. Gomez? 4.9. Maybe Diego Gomez? Yeah, something like this. And this will allow you to get even Raul out if needed. So you might have to do something like this. Actually, this will allow you to move Ryan as well to a 5.6 option. Whoever at that time is like affordable. You'll have to rely on Brighton a bit for that double. See, this is why if you can save your wild card, I would try and save the wild card. Because you can see planning is not easy. Brentford has Fulham in double game week 33. Do they though? Yeah, Brentford has Fulham in double game week 33. But this is why you have Rayan here, right? And Rayan is not going to help. Maybe if you had Dango in this specific situation. How much is Sharda? 6.9. Sharda is too expensive. Damsgaard? 5.6. Only problem with Damsgaard is consistent returns is also not as easy to pick. Worst case, this is where you have to get rid of Rhea and you need Kelleher in. So you have that Brentford fixture against Fulham in 33. Gives you 1 million in the bank to also improve Ryan to a slightly better midfielder. For example, like you can go and get Ismail Sarr. Why is my camera like frozen? Is my camera frozen? Is it right? Is my camera frozen? Yes, I've just realized my camera is frozen. Why is it frozen? Ah, I am frozen in place. All right, hold on. Give me a second to fix this. Hold on, guys. Ah, I have to go from the back. Is my stream working? Or have I just gone on a talking thing? Let me stop the recording. My stream is working, right? Why is the camera frozen? Hello, welcome. Yes, I can see this thing, but my camera is frozen. Guys, I have no clue why my camera is frozen. Camera is frozen, but I can hear you. Yeah. Oh well. Is that a wildcard draft? Yes, Tiger. This is a wildcard draft. Maybe I switch this way. Oh, the camera is not even turning on. Interesting. Oh, it's not. It's my OBS. Screen is moving as well. Your camera is just frozen, still frozen after the short intermission. Yeah, it is. Oh, now I've lost it fully. We're back. We are back. There we go. Oh, there's a delay. There's a delay. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. I thought there was a delay initially. Can you just turn off camera and continue? Oh my days, what happened now? Okay, I think we're good. All right, there we are. All right. So yeah, I mean, here's the thing: is Simon was still in the chat? I don't know because like I would try and potentially save your wildcard if you can, because it's not easy to get Harlem back in. It is not easy to get Harlem back in, to be honest. Sound and I think there is a delay in the sound and my video. All right. Yeah. So, any questions, people? Oh, how are we looking like? Basmati rice team and Mrs. team from Tiger as well. I'll load that up as well. This is Tiger's basmati rice team, and this is Tiger's Mrs. team. So look at the Mrs. team. First, Dubravka, Gabriel, Timber, Guehi, Tarkovsky, Dalot, Bruno, Semenyo, Zubamendi, Barry, Joe Pedro, Haaland, Wilson, Enzo, and Verbruggen. Tiger, do you know what Mrs. is planning to do with Haaland in terms of selling, keeping? What's the situation? And then obviously for your Basmati Rice team: Rufus, Gabriel, Guehi, Van Heck, Timber, Semenyo, Rogers, Thiago, Calvert-Lewin, Bruno Fernandes, Ryan, Vicario, Palmer, Joe Pedro, Chalaba. I think I would sell. Honestly, I probably start Joe Pedro against Aston Villa. Aston Villa haven't looked that great. I might even start Palmer, to be honest. But if you can get an Ekitike in instead of Joe Pedro as well, I don't mind that. To try and get some Liverpool players in, like Ekitike. Could sell Rogers in this team as well. But your options, like I said earlier, would include like Iwobi. You already have Ryan, Sharda, maybe. Harry Wilson was fit. I would have probably named him, but I don't know what his situation, what his status is going to be like. Palmer for who? I probably will keep Palmer, to be honest, unless you need to sell Palmer to bring in Ekitike. If you need to sell Palmer to bring in Ekitike, then I mean, Iwobi from Fulham is not too bad. Who else though we can get for this week? Let me go back to Roberties. Man City, Liverpool. I think you need Ekitike and probably Semenyo you could even do, but then obviously Basmati Rice team, you already have Semenyo, so that's just not an option. No swap, Palmer, not sell. Yeah, so maybe like if you could do Pedro to Ekitike, Joe Pedro to Ekitike and start Palmer over Morgan Rogers, probably do something like that. Shall she sell Haaland? Yeah, she can sell Haaland. Again, Ekitike. The reason I'm saying Ekitike is because Liverpool have a good fixture this week, and he's their main like goal scorer in terms of threat. Um, so get Ekitike in for Haaland. Yeah, I probably would look to do that. Only thing is just wait for press conference news before we make any decisions. Just so that we can kind of see whether what's Haaland's situation and what TK situation as well. So if you can wait a bit more for press conference news, monitor press conference news. Because there's a lot of decision around that. But I think TK seems like a pretty good move. When's the deadline? Deadline is basically tomorrow for us, or well, like Wednesday morning at 5 o'clock for me. That would be what, 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning for you. Wednesday. We'll do a deadline stream tomorrow as well. Deadline stream tomorrow. We'll do a deadline stream from 10 o'clock Sydney time to 12 o'clock Sydney time tomorrow. Sandri, welcome. How are you doing? Hope you're well. 7 p.m. my way. Yeah, for deadline stream. I've sent my team on Instagram. All right. Look at Sandri's team, and I think that might be it for the day. I haven't got your team yet. Probably still loading. Nope, nothing yet so far. Give me a minute. I'll be back. All right. I have received the team. Yes, now I got it. Now I got it. Flags, 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 flags. More flags. I think Anderson should be fine. O'Reilly, Wilson, Declan Rice, and Haaland. That is a bit of an issue. I think you start Richards. You probably start KDH. You have to make a decision on O'Reilly, Declan Rice, and Haaland. Ideally, you need to make a decision on two of them. I think I should have Captain Bruno. Uh, it is what it is. Can't do much about it. That's a bit unfortunate. Can't do too much now about that. So, Sandri, what do you want to do is the question. I think you also need to wait for like press conference news before we decide what to do. I think O'Reilly and Rice will play. So then Anderson, I think, should be fine as well. So it's Wilson and Haaland then, which, if that's the case, then I think Drishbury Hall and Richards should be able to cover if you wanted to bench them. Or like if they didn't play, you can just like their auto sub. Like you probably need to start Drewsbury Hall anyways. So I think your auto subs in Drewsbury Hall and Richards should cover it. Ideally. Have a look at my team. I'm 22. 22, 22, 22. Here we go. Oof, 91 points. Well played. Because of Ekitike. No wonder. So Richards came in and Drewsbury Hall came in. Wow. That Drewsbury Hall actually worked. Yeah. I mean, I think you probably might be okay. But you could potentially, you could probably end up benefiting from, I don't know, wait for press conference and then make a decision because you could probably bench them ideally. Also mini league, look at my team 20. Also mini league. What's the you've just increased your lead. Oh my days, you just increased your lead. Suggestion, I think you probably have to wait for press conferences. We need to know what exactly the situation is with Wilson, O'Reilly, Rice, and Haaland. Since you have Thiago and Ekitike, you don't really need to make a striker move, and you can bench Haaland. But this is the whole risk versus reward that we discussed at the start of the stream, where even if Haaland was available for game week 30, that's against West Ham with Real Madrid on either side of the fixtures. So would Haaland necessarily play the West Ham fixture a full 90 minutes? We don't know because Real Madrid on both sides. My ideal plan is Rice and O'Reilly, Szoboszlai, and Van Dijk for a -4. Yeah, that's also not too bad actually. You could do that as well. I don't mind those moves as well. Yeah, that's not too bad. You could also, instead of getting Szoboszlai, if you really wanted, you can go Szoboszlai. Or you could also go. I mean, Tavernier is one option from Bournemouth. Tavernier, Iwobi, Schade. These are some midfield options. But I think Szoboszlai is also not too bad. Few set pieces. Will play in midfield now since Frimpong is back. Yeah, I don't mind that as well. Don't like modern players. Problem with minutes. You will be in Shada. Yes, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Fair. Yeah. All right. I think we will end it there for today, and we'll be live tomorrow for the deadline, not the early deadline stream again tomorrow. Between 10 o'clock Sydney time to 12 o'clock Sydney time. So yeah, can I reach top 10k or and top 10 in Albania? Let's have a look. Where was the team again? 104. Ooh. Top 10k, I don't know. Maybe in Albania, top 10 is 1726. You are on 1671. Top 10 in Albania, I think that could be a possibility. Top 10k, you need a bit of luck. Here's the thing, going from 1 million to 100k is slightly a bit more easier than it is from going 100k to top 10k. Sounds a bit crazy, but yeah. I going right to the morning for your live stream. As in, what do you mean? Oh no, Tiger. I wouldn't. I'll stop at like 12 midnight so that I can sleep and probably get up to watch the games, at least the Liverpool game at least. Best captain this week. I think your best captaincy options are Ekitike, and Bruno Fernandes. At least that's what I feel like. Ekitike and Bruno Fernandes for me as the best captaincy options. Anyone else? Semenyo is not too bad as well. Semenyo is not too bad. Only thing is, I don't know who's on pens without Haaland there. But I do think Ekitike and Bruno are probably the best options at the moment. Andy, welcome. How are you doing? Mamush on pens? I don't know. Is he Mamush actually on pens? I don't know, to be honest. I'm not really sure who exactly is on pens for City. 70 points with a -8. That's not too bad. So yeah, deadline stream tomorrow, and we'll discuss teams and everything tomorrow. Any questions, Andy, before we look to end? How long is Haaland out? Do we know? I am waiting to see if we'll get like a Pep Guardiola press conference, and I think once we get that, only I'll know a bit more exactly. But at the moment, I'm assuming he's probably not going to be available for 29 and might be available for Game Week 30 is what I'm assuming. But yeah, at this present moment, I can't fully tell you. The thing is, Game Week 30 is in like what, next week, right? Not this week. Game Week 30 is in this week. Game Week 30 is next week. So he should probably be available for 30, but I don't know at the moment. So yeah. But 29, he might not be available. Okay, we sort tomorrow. Okay, we'll sort your team tomorrow as well. But yeah, this is how it's looking like. Flags everywhere. I am probably looking to sell Haaland for Ekitike. And then I have to decide whether I take a -4 to bring in even Semenyo if I really wanted to. 64 points this game week, not happy. Hopefully a better game week upcoming for you, Tiger. Hopefully a better game week upcoming. So yeah, we'll see. We will see. Hopefully better game week upcoming. Just need 1 or 2 players to go big, and that's all that matters. And then you get like a good green arrow. All right, we'll stop here, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Until then, have a good time. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to hit that like, hit the subscribe if you reached up to this point, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good one, everyone. Peace out.